Hello, I'm Jay, owner of Volunteer Audio in Oliver Springs, Tennessee, and today I'm making a video on our 2024 Harley Davidson Roadglide base model. I'm going to show you how to take that large, bulky license plate bracket and frame off and do a new one from Custom Dynamics. It's a lot sleeker, a lot smaller, and very easy to install. So watch the rest of the video. We'll talk about some other lighting upgrades we're going to do in some future videos, but today we're going to primarily focus on this. All right, so there's a few things that I absolutely love about our new Harley Davidson Roadglide, but there's also a few things I wish that were better, and one of which is this very large license plate bracket. I feel like it's just oversized, it's too big, I'd like to have it a little sleeker. The other thing is I kind of feel like the taillights are kind of out of place. It's like Harley forgot to put taillights on it and at the end said, oh, we got to make something. So Custom Dynamics has came out with several new lights. We love Custom Dynamics because they're top quality, they're lifetime warranted, and we just know they're going to be as good or better than what was factory. I hate to buy a brand or add something to the bike that takes it backwards, but I've got a few upgrades we're going to do. Today, I'm going to show you how to install the license plate bracket. It's going to look great. It's going to be all black. That's a good theme for this bike. We're also, in a later video, going to show you how to replace these tail lights to a CVO style light that's in behind. It's got a little bit more of a recessed look. It doesn't stick out, but I really like it. But because it's recessed, we're also going to be adding a set of blade lights on the bags. I'll do red on this bike. Got another bike we've done all smoked on, but I like the black, white, and red accents. So we'll be doing red lights on each side, red lights on the bags. We'll be doing the license plate. We'll also be showing you on our CVO Streetglide in an upcoming video the new Shark Demon light for it. That's the 23.5 CVO. They don't have a Roadglide option yet. When they do, I'm sure we'll make that video, but Volunteer Audio stocks all these different Custom Dynamics lights for your bike, and we're going to make different step-by-step videos covering each one. Not only to show you how easy it is to install, how it's all plug-and-play to factory wiring, but it allows you to see the before and after to determine if you really like the look before you make your purchase. Let me grab a couple small hand tools, and we'll start swapping out this license plate bracket. All right, so let's open up each one of these products and show you what comes inside. First, we're going to start with the radius license plate mount. Now, you could buy just this mount separate, but it doesn't have any lighting built into it. And since we're going to be removing the original light, that plate, this actual plate surround, actually has our lighting built in. It's completely plug and play to our new bike. So inside of here, now they offer this in black or chrome. This is the black option. We have both in stock at Volunteer Audio. You're going to end up with this curved, what they're going to call a radius license plate mount, and it's perfect for that fender. It has the two factory holes to bolt right back up. You're also going to end up with two different gaskets for the back side. Probably the hardest part of this install is just keeping these gaskets in place as you put it back on the fender, but they're designed just to go between there and just kind of protect the paint. We'll show you how to put that on. You're also going to have another one that goes at the top on the top portion here. So I think the end result ends up looking really good. I already have this on our CVO Streetglide, but I wanted to show you as I installed it on the Roadglide so you could just see what was involved. A lot of people think you have to remove the rear fender to do this. You don't have to do that. It's very, very simple. So these three parts are going to come in your radius license plate mount. Now here is our LED license plate frame. This is also a radius version as well that matches up to it. We'll open it up. In here, we're going to have a little hardware packs. We're going to get an Allen tool. We're going to have 4 screws and 2 basically nuts that are already on a bracket that goes behind here to hold our license plate on. And then we're also going to get our light up frame. This frame is very sleek. It's going to have the exact factory plug that we need to plug in. And the lights are integrated right in here underneath the bottom edge. So while that's on our license plate, it's lighting up that plate. So now we're legal, but it's very small, not as gaudy or sticking out as that factory mount. Much, much cleaner look. All right, so we'll go over to the bike. We'll be taking off our original plate, and I'll show you what tools we're gonna need to put this on. All right, so first step, we're just gonna remove our license plate. This one's held on with some little plastic nuts. I've got my other bike had a couple Phillips screws holding it on, but very, very simple. All right, so next we're just going to pop this reflector off. It's just kind of just snaps in. Take that out of the way. And now that just exposed our two screws here. They're a T25, one on each side. But before we remove these, we're going to get under the fender. There's a little cover that's covering our wiring. We're going to show you how to pop that off. And we're going to unplug the wiring from the light so when we unbolt this, we can just take it off. Let's see. All right, so now laying underneath the bike, just looking up in under the fender, we're going to have this little plastic cover. Simply press up and it's going to come out. If you'll see, there's just one clip here at the bottom. All I did was press up in the middle to release it. Now we're going to slide this down and take it off. That's going to expose our taillight wiring. Now, this is pretty normal to see that the factory clips aren't even really secured to the fender well. You didn't undo that. That's factory. I've done a couple of these now, and it's like they didn't stick well. But just take this wiring, just going to pull it out of this little holder, and we're going to press this one little retainer, this little black button in. Hopefully you can see it. It's that button right there. Press that in to unplug the tail light. So now that we have it unplugged, we're going to go back to the top, remove these two bolts, and take that off. All right, so now we're just going to take that T25 and remove both of the bolts here on the back of the fender. Now we're going to reuse these to install our new plate. We're just going to pull out, feed this wiring harness out of this hole. All right, so this next part's not hard, but it's just a little tricky because what we're going to do is we're going to be taking our license plate frame and we've got to feed our wire through it already. So we're going to push it through the hole. It is a very tight fit, but it will fit through there. We're going to pull that out and we're just going to hold this over top. You really can't bolt this in yet because we have to get to these bolts. So there's our wire coming out the back. But now, this is the part where we need like 3 hands. You're going to be placing your gasket in place where it goes. And we're going to take our bolts and we're going to go ahead and feed those through these 2 holes. That's going to help us kind of keep the gasket somewhat where it goes. So a lot going on here at the same time. Essentially, I just got to have this wire where it's accessible. We've got to get the gasket around those bolts. And now I'm going to take it back over here. I'm going to feed our wire through, and then I'm going to try to start each one of those bolts, and then I'll double check that gasket's location. So to stick this through, so it's feeding back into the fender. All right, making sure my gasket is around the bolt. I'm going to try to line up these bolts with those factory holes. So just basically I'm going to get them started, and I'm going to recheck that gasket to make sure it's in place. I'm just taking my fingers from the back side. I'm filling that gasket, making sure it's where it goes. Also just looking down from behind. I'll do any adjustments that are needed here to get it back where it's supposed to go. I'm going to loosen it up a little bit more so I can pull it out slightly. Now I'm just going to move that gasket back into the correct location on each side. All right, so I've got it pretty much where it's supposed to be. Last, I'm going to try to put this top gasket in behind the top section. All right, so now that's where it goes. I'm going to go and start tightening these bolts back up. All right, so now that I've got both of those tight, our gaskets are pulled in, I'm going to go underneath and I'm going to plug in that light, just plug that back in and put the cover back on. All right, so from underneath, we're just going to grab that plug. We're going to plug it into the factory connector. We're going to snap it back into this hole. then just going to kind of loop this wire where it'll go behind this cover. Our cover is just going to go right back up in here, and you're going to see you have this top portion of the plastic. That part feeds into a groove at the top. Then we just snap it back in. There we go. Let's move back to the outside and get our plate frame on our license plate. All right, something you're going to need to do to make this a little easier is you don't want to leave your license plate perfectly flat. We want to start kind of just bending it, putting a little radius on it so it doesn't fight us as we try to put our bolts in. So I'm just going to do that across my leg, just giving it a little bit of a bend, and it'll mold right to the shape of that plate. Now we're going to get our 4 Allen head bolts. They're going to be colored. In this case, we're using a black frame, so they're black bolts. If you have the chrome one, they'll be chrome in color. But I'm just going to start with 2. Start 1 on each side at the top, and then we'll put our other ones in. All right, so what you have here is you have your Allen head bolt that is going to be beveled to fit inside of this frame. Now, what I have also seen is when they powder coat them, this hole gets tight. So you want to go ahead and start your bolt, spin it all the way through. Because it is almost the exact size of the hole. This is the included tool. I've got some T-handles that will make this a little faster probably. So once it's all the way in, I'm just going to spin it some more, which is going to allow it now to break free. We just kind of cleared that powder coat that had us really tight. I'm going to throw my license plate in behind. I'm going to get that first bolt in through this bracket. And now what you're going to also have to do is you're going to take one of these and you're going to hold it in behind so it lines up with that bolt. Get it lined up. There we go. Once we get it lined up, we're going to start with one of these. All right, so I've started into that bracket. I'm just going to move on to the other side, to the top one. I don't want to tighten anything up yet because I don't want to make this more difficult than it has to be. So same thing here. I'm going to start it into the bracket. Move my plate up where I'm going through its hole. This side we didn't have as much powder coat in the area, so much easier on this side. Same thing though, we're going to start our top bolt. All right, so it's started. I'm going to go ahead and get my other 2 bolts on the bottom end, lining those up with that same bracket. All right, so now that they're all started, I'm going to tighten up all 4 of the bolts. All right, and just that easy. We've now taken this large, bulky license plate off. We've got a nice curved plate. Now, I've seen people do this, and you could do this another way. You could put this directly on the fender. You'd drill your 4 holes through the fender. You'd put the brackets behind it, and you wouldn't need this upper part. I don't want to drill 4 holes in my fender. I don't want a place where it may rust or paint would chip. So I really like the idea of just a simple bolt-on bracket. This radius plate frame is really nice. Let's go ahead and turn the bike on. We'll show you how it lights up. So as you see, we have good illumination now of our tag. So now we're legal, we look good, and we've cleaned up the rear end. So I'm excited to move forward and do a little bit more. So watch the next upcoming videos. I'm going to show you how to get rid of these big bulky lights. We're going to do a recessed light back in here. They're going to be red in color. We're going to do the black accent on it as well. I think it'll look really good in here. Then I'll show you in another video how to do those slim bag lights. So let me know what you think about this change out. I think the tag is a no-brainer. It's very inexpensive. We sell it at Volunteer Audio as each individual part, but we also sell it as a package where you just get the black radius frame and you get that mount. So definitely check out those links below and you can add this to your bike. So simple. Let me know again what you think about it. Do you like the way it looks? Is there something better out there you know about? Comment below. Let me know what you think. If you have questions about parts for your bike, this is specifically a 24 and up Roadglide, but we actually have parts for all the different year ranges. If you need help finding the right parts for you, give us a call at 1-844-30-AUDIO or check out the Custom Dynamics Lighting section of our webpage at volunteeraudio.com. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to Volunteer Audio to see the next couple of videos, as well as all the other accessory videos, whether it be Chromeworks exhaust or audio. That is really our specialty, and we do have the best plug-and-play audio systems for your Harley Davidson in stock and ready to go. Like this video. By doing so, it's going to move us up in the search results. It's free to you. It helps us. It helps other people find videos like this, so it helps them as well. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, God bless.